Photography isn't just showing up and clicking a button. In the next 9 minutes, I'm gonna show you what steps I take to go beyond simply pressing a button and what my process is like for transforming light into an image. Recently, I traveled to Italy with some friends. The last time I was in Italy was in 2017, and I went with my camera and a lens. So my process back then was a lot simpler. Basically, walk around and take photos. Kind of like a basic tourist. But when you're looking for something more, something to take your photos to the next level or give you that cinematic touch, here's what I recommend. For the last few years, I've been carrying one of these everywhere I go. And I've talked about this type of light before. It's a small LED panel, it fits at the bottom of your bag, and it gives me just enough light in an emergency. But sometimes you need to level things up. You need more, something more versatile, something bigger, something brighter, or something that says, I'm not just here to click a button.
Yesterday, we found this photo spot, and before the sun goes down, I want to show you what it looks like. It's honestly kind of perfect because we have all of these layers with the landscape that with a more telephoto lens, we can kind of bring together. But the problem is the background is so bright that if I try to, man, I've got whatever cold you've got. With a telephoto lens, you could bring all of these layers together, but the challenge with a portrait is that the background is so bright that if you expose for the background, your subject effectively becomes a silhouette or ends up completely in the dark. And that's where the light comes in.
What's up?
What do you think about this lighting right now?
This lighting right now?
Yeah.
Pretty lit, almost as lit as it was yesterday.
We just need a little bit of like...
The clouds though?
Well, we can't, and that's part of the challenge, is we're exposing for our face, but if we expose
for the background,
and we bring in a light, we bring in, oh, my voice, holy cow. Stefano gave me his cold, in case anyone's wondering why I sound like a frog.
I think we're all cooked on this trip.
Oh, just you, buddy.
Just me.
So maybe you've made this mistake before, where you arrive at your sunset spot, you start taking photos, except you realize all of the color in the sky is gone because you've blown out all the highlight detail. So you take the photo again, you underexpose, except now your subject is dark, which leaves you with two options. You can take that photo as is and do a bunch of editing later to bring up the shadows and accept some level of noise in the shadows, or you can work to adjust your lighting ratios. One way to do this is you can reduce the light source that you have. Now, because we're outside, that's not really practical. We can't just throw up a massive diffuser, but what we can do is we can add light back in where we need more to minimize the difference between those highlights and those shadows. One way to do that is with a reflector, or in this case, we could actually wait until the sun goes down and start shooting in blue hour, where the shadows and the lighting is gonna be a little bit softer. But the challenge with shooting during blue hour is that you then have to boost your ISO and your photo is noisy again. So earlier this year, I had a chance to talk to my friend Cam Mackey and the team over at Jayun, who just released this. So this is the X100 RGB Cam Mackey edition. Now when Jayun, or Juyun, however you want to say it, heard that I was traveling to Italy, I figured this was the perfect opportunity to get them involved in one of my videos. So Jayun is the sponsor of today's video, and of course I'm happy to do it because Cam Mackey is also a good friend of mine. But the new X100 builds on the original in a few ways. One, it adds full RGB. It still has the same battery, which you can take to power the light so that you don't need a power source, which is perfect for traveling or being outdoors. And because of its form factor, it is easily one of the smallest and lightest 100-watt lights on the market right now.
Get in the corner. The corner looks really nice. So I think you can kind of like sit and just, yo, I'm enjoying the view. I'm started with the 90 because it's gonna compress the scene, but let's just hold that right there. So the challenge I'm running into is I already want to expose for Stefano's face, because if I shoot it like this, like my sky looks good. So that's when I grab this guy, but I'm just gonna blast it.
What light are you using?
Well, it's the X100. Don't you know, Rich? It's the Cam Mackey X100 RGB edition. I'm actually just gonna use it on the HSI mode.
Higher level.
Who's teaching who right now?
Doesn't matter, he ain't mic'd up. So this from the left side or like my left, his right actually looks a little bit more natural. Because sometimes if you just blast his face, it kind of looks like you're using a flash and overpowering the scene. I'll do a little bit wider.
Whenever you're capturing photos, you can of course carry around light stands and diffusers and softbox inside of their case. But the advantage with something like this that's so small and compact is that all the individuals can fit inside of your camera bag so that you're ready to deploy anywhere you go. Having that flexibility to add a light source is the difference between a beginner and a pro, where a beginner might just accept whatever light is given to them, but a pro is going to shape that light to create the best photo possible. So let's say you find yourself in an urban setting like this, where there's a fountain, you have a subject, except the subject is in the shadow, or you're not quite getting the exact light that you want, because maybe you were hoping that the sun would cast through the buildings and hit that fountain and light it up and illuminate your subject. Now, of course, you can go into Lightroom, you can do masking to kind of like create this fake sunlight effect, but ideally you want to nail it inside of camera. So in this case, I actually used the little Fresnel and barn door attachments to cast warm light onto my subject. So instead of having to wake up early for sunrise or wait for that perfect time of day, which might actually never happen, if you take a look at this photo, you'll notice that there is a subtle shadow. That little bit of shadow that is being cast by the X100 adds to that realism that yes, there is actually a light source, and that yes, this might actually be the sun that's casting through the buildings and lighting up our subject.
Let me make this video. Okay, if we set this light, and maybe this, bring this lower. So stand in frame for a second. And the light, because it's a small softbox, if it's super far away, it's gonna be super harsh. I say get closer to it.
Yeah.
And just drop this intensity.
And then it's kind of wrapping a little bit. So the more you go around that way, yeah.
So we're gonna put it like that, right?
So the challenge we were running into is that I was trying to get Stefano to look into the light, but because he has glasses and we're outside, we can't get the light high enough. So what we're trying now is I'll look into it. I don't have glasses, and it's gonna light up my face probably a little bit more naturally, just because I'm not wearing glasses.
Flick this way. Put this lighting on us. Now we're using it to record a video.
How's it look for video, Rich? It's good. Rich says it looks good. Cam Mackey,
Solid.
X100 RGB.
Andiamo.
When we were in Rome, we had a limited window of opportunity to shoot with a model who was only available after sunset, which created some challenges because there's no natural, excuse me, cinematic cat. You wanna be cinematic? Do you know about lighting? Do you know about the Cam Mackey light? You wanna be cinematic? At night, there are no natural lights, and the street lights don't really flatter your skin tone. So we scouted a location the day before and found a fountain that we liked. Except when we came back at night, the fountain was packed and there was no way that we were gonna film at it. So we actually made our own photo spot at the edge of the plaza because we had our own light. That's the magic and the flexibility of actively taking steps to improve your photography. A beginner would just use street lights and boost their ISO, which you can do. In this case, we used the street light, but we used the light that we had to add something else, to side light our subject, to backlight our subject, because she was wearing this really dark shirt, this jacket where we would lose all of that texture. And so by giving her an edge light or a backlight, we're able to pull out all of that texture, which easily makes the photo at least twice as good.
Look this way.
Stefano's trying to show off because he took a better photo of me than I took of him.
Even though I'm cooked, I still cook up, you know?
Uh-huh.
I get cooked,
Even
but I
though
cook
you
up.
smashed your glasses?
Destroyed my Meta Ray-Bans. My Ray-Ban Metas got destroyed. You should see my arm.
So with Stefano, because he's got the glasses, I'm having him face to his left. Like, look straight into the light right now.
It's probably really cooked right now with my glasses.
And then we're actually gonna blast this. We're gonna blast. Oh, it's only on 7%. Holy man. Taylor, can you back off just a little bit and then rotate around in front of his face a little bit more? It's giving us street light vibes, but like nice, color balanced street light vibes. That's a wrap, folks.
These actually look good.
And the light was at like 50%, like 40, 50% for these.
That works. You get a nice, well-lit portrait and a good-looking sky.
That's it.
Consider two different scenarios. Scenario one is you show up to a photo spot, you take a photo, and you leave. In scenario two, you show up to the photo spot, you take that photo, but instead you spend 9 minutes, the same amount of time that it took you to get to this point in the video, critically analyzing the scene that's in front of you, analyzing the lighting, looking at your composition, adding your own lights to improve the quality of your photos. In scenario 2, 9 minutes is more than enough to make a 10% or a 172% increase in the quality of the photos that you capture. So hopefully this inspires you to level up your photography. And if you want to check out the Zhiyun RGB X100 Cam Mackie light, all the links for this and any of the gear mentioned in this video will be down in the description below. So check those out. And as always, remember, grab your camera, get out, analyze your scene, and go shoot photos.
This is another use for the Zhiyun X100 RGB. Just get your best boy, your gaffer over here, your light boy, just to follow you down the streets of Ponza through Italy.
Oh my God, you're the worst.